that.
That was perfect. That was way better.
Okay.
Oh, okay, man. 2 cents worth one pod.
Two
Episode
cents with
26.
one. That's
Maybe
half a year.
that's half a year.
That's half a
This
year.
is getting ridiculous. You know that?
We've been doing this for too long.
Too long. Oh man, but speaking of too long, it's been too long, and thus
It
this
has been
episode
2
is gonna
weeks.
be too long.
Oh yeah, we've missed a lot within the span of 2 weeks.
How was Valentine's Day, Nate? Since this is gonna take forever,
That was pretty good. It was pretty good for me.
how are you? How are your
How was yours?
wontons?
Oh, they were great.
Yeah, that's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear it. Mine was pretty good. We went to that Italian place down the road.
Nice.
Jess looked incredible.
Nice.
I looked B minus, but she brings up the group average. So.
Oh yeah, so it works out.
Yeah, and what I have, I had the feature sausage and peppers. It was great.
Nice.
We drank a whole bottle of wine. Didn't really realize I was a Pinot Grigio fan, but I liked that
Oh.
one.
There you go. I'm not really a wine person. It's not really my thing.
No, it's been growing on me this year.
I think I've been told that wine kind of has to grow on you. Like
It
no one's a
really
wine
does.
person in the
Yeah.
beginning.
No, I've hated wine for a really long time, and then I started drinking Rieslings, and they're like really sweet. They're really nice.
Okay.
White wine is like that's my thing, right? That's how you like get into it, I think. Because red is
Okay,
very
okay,
bitter,
okay.
and white you can drink cold on ice and stuff, so it's a little bit easier. But
Gotcha.
we can do a wine and cheese day, Nate. Don't worry, you bring some
Maybe.
wontons, do some wine and cheese.
All right.
But I don't know. You better tell me about some basketball because there's like
Yeah, I got
three
Ooh.
pages of this.
I kind of have a type with big men. Yeah, we got a whole lot of
You even
basketball.
got color coding going on, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Like, ridiculous.
I figured we'd go revisit my predictions from the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I'm excited for that because you're normally pretty accurate with this kind of stuff.
So we'll see. Anyway, talking about All-Stars, I think we're probably going to be talking about All-Stars for. We talked about All-Stars last week. We're going to talk about it again this week. Probably going to talk about it next week. And then it's probably done. Then we're probably done talking about All-Stars.
It's only almost a month of All Stars. That's okay.
That's fair. So the Preserves got announced. Eastern Conference: Bam Adebayo, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, Julius Randle, and Kevin Durant's injury replacement, Pascal Siakam.
Let's go.
Because Kevin Durant is injured, Joel Embiid now gets bumped up to starter. Deservedly.
Fun.
Yeah. It was between him, Jason Tatum, and Kevin Durant anyway. So
Yeah, I know.
works
I
out.
remember being like, it's too bad it's the three and somebody's gonna get cheesed, but this way they
Yeah.
kind of don't.
So it worked out. In the West, we have Paul George, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jaren Jackson Jr., Damian Lillard, Lowry Markkanen, John Morant, Domantas Sabonis, and Anthony Edwards in for Zion, and De'Aaron Fox in for Steph. Because Zion and Steph are injured, Lowry Markkanen gets bumped up, and John Morant get bumped up.
Really fun, man.
So it kind of fits my predictions of Lowry Markkanen being a starter.
Yeah, it really worked in for you.
So it worked out. I think Shai deserved it over John Morant. But I think that's just because Shai's having like an insane season this season. So we'll see. But I think Shai's probably gonna have a better All-Star game, to be completely honest with you.
I could see that.
John Morant's gonna have a few nice dunks because he's Jaw, but
yeah, he's gonna get some highlights, but Shai's gonna have a better stat line.
Yeah. But there's no one really that stands out that like, oh, they shouldn't have made it. Like, obviously, there were a few snubs. Like, I think all the guys who came in as injury reserves got snubbed.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I would have picked Pascal over Julius. I would have probably picked De'Aaron over, like, Damian, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I could see that one, too.
I think the only one I would have left out was Anthony Edwards, just because, like...
I don't know who you push him above.
I wouldn't put Anthony Edwards above any of the people there.
So he would have been an honest snub, I think, regardless.
Yeah.
But
yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, there's no one that really surprises me there.
With this kind of shit.
Yeah, I got pretty close with that one. And the skills challenge, they're doing the three teams thing again with Team
Okay, yeah.
Antetokounmpo's, Team Jazz, and Team Rooks. Team Antetokounmpo's is Alex Antetokounmpo, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Thanasis. Team Jazz is Jordan Clarkson, Walker Kessler, and Colin Sexton. And Team Rooks is going to be Paolo Banchero, Jaden Ivey, and Jabari Smith.
Team Jazz, for some reason, feels out of place here.
They did Team Cavs last year with like Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, and
Like I know saying
Darius
that, look at
Garland.
team like it's just Giannis, but
Yeah, it's just
it's
Team
for some reason
Antetokounmpo's is just
I maybe because it's themed, it feels
yeah.
better. I don't know.
I'm not huge on. I would have preferred they just do three random teams
That would
of
have
just
been a lot more
three
fun, but
random guys instead of trying to do like theme things.
I do kind of like seeing this theme thing. It's just I don't think it works.
I would have because I would have preferred Walker Kessler on Team Rooks
Yeah.
with Jaden Ivey and Paolo Banchero instead of Jabari Smith Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I would have preferred that personally, or like Benedict Mathurin. Why is
Fuck
he not
yeah.
in there? Like, I feel like Team Rooks should have like Benedict Mathurin's the runner up easily for Rookie of the Year.
I want to tell you too. I almost bought you a Benedict Mathurin jersey the other day.
I would have worn it immediately.
I almost did it, but it seemed unreasonable.
It did. That does seem a little unreasonable.
Especially like around Valentine's Day, it was like, okay, maybe a different time.
They're pretty expensive too.
No, I found cheap, good quality cheap
Oh,
ones.
okay.
I've shown
Okay.
you, but I found some
Yeah,
nice
yeah.
ones.
I mean, eventually, I think I'll get a Benedict Mathurin jersey. I don't know if I want a Tyrese Halliburton or a Benedict Mathurin one though.
See, I figured if I got you one of them, you could just get the other one. Because I've done that with Jay's jerseys. My mom's got me one. I'm like, fuck, well, that
And then you
makes
just
my
get the other
decision
one.
for me, so I'll just get the other one.
Fair enough. I don't know which jersey I would want though.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause,
That's
like,
kind of what stopped me. I'm like, there's a few too many options here. I don't know.
I'm not huge on their city jersey.
Yeah, I know you have a taste with their jerseys.
I think their regular jersey kind of is growing on me. The regular jersey is growing on me because of my 2K.
I was gonna say your 2K sim will help with that.
Yeah, it's definitely helping with that. But moving on, we still got dunk contest and 3-point contest to talk
The
about.
dunk contest does not wow me, but it may also be because I don't pay attention enough. I don't know.
Dunk contest, I think I'm only gonna care about Shaden Sharp. He's alongside Kenyon Martin Jr., Mac McClung, and Jericho Sims, who I know they all have hops, but they all kind of just have hops.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like they don't have like the mobility to go with it. So, because like the interesting with the Aaron Gordon and the Zach LaVine one was like they could move the ball in the air.
Exactly.
But these guys, I don't know. These guys are kind of just. I feel like they just have hops.
So it's like the 2K sim dunk contest.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch it, but like I don't know if I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I'm probably gonna watch the first round and then make my decision off of that. Because last year I think Cole Anthony dunked in Tim's, and that was like the most exciting thing that they did.
It's so depressing, dude.
I was like, wow, guys, good job.
I mean, I get there's like a cap to it potentially of like, okay, well, how creative can you really get, or like what can you do
but like
that hasn't been
Blake
done?
Griffin jumped over a car.
Exactly, like
Aaron Gordon went under both legs over a mascot on a hoverboard.
Stuff's been done, but
like
I still want to see like a ridiculous effort out of it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even the Dwight Howard Superman dunk on like the 14-foot rim or whatever, or the 12-foot rim, like that's impressive.
That is.
Do something like that.
That's what I want to see is like the ridiculous athletic feat.
Yeah,
that's what this
Don't
is
just
supposed to
put
be.
on a pair of Timbs and dunk the ball.
No.
I get that it's difficult to do that, but like
playground
still.
courts, man.
Yeah, no. I'm not. I wasn't impressed with it for the past few years. I think them bringing up a G League person too is kind of also losing them credibility.
Well, it's
like Mac McClung's a great dunker, but like
yeah, and I appreciate the idea of like promoting the younger guys. Like MLB is now putting minor league games on the MLB TV subscription this year. Like that kind of stuff is good if you're expanding the audience that way. But just jamming him in here is gonna drive
Yeah,
people
just
away from it. It's
people are
not.
gonna be like, "Oh, a G League player is playing," and
Well,
then
yeah,
they're
because
not
the
gonna want
only
to
way
watch.
people will see that is, wow, you're really starving for like
Yeah,
contestants, eh?
exactly,
Like
exactly.
nobody wants to do the dunk contest. Apparently, that's what it's gonna be.
I looked at the judges though. The judges are good because they picked historically good dunkers
Oh,
as
that's
the
awesome.
judges. So like Dominique Wilkins is one of the judges.
Mm.
They have a few other guys who are like one of the guys is a professional dunker. And they have a bunch of other guys who have won the dunk contest prior.
Okay, that's great.
So they understand what a good dunk is. So I'm glad that
Hopefully, we'll keep the
they
scores a
don't just
little
have
bit more
celebrities
accurate or
just
something.
slapping 50s all over the place.
Exactly.
Anyway, now that we're done complaining about the dunk contest,
Something I'm
the
much more
3-point
excited
contest
for.
I'm actually really interested in.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Kevin Herter, Lowry Markkinen, Anthony Simons, Jason Tatum.
Great lineup.
All either exceptional shooters or like really, really solid shooters.
Exactly.
So I'm really excited about this one.
Who you got?
And it's not like they have like Steph in there where you're like, okay, well I know who's winning.
It's the clear favorite type of thing. That's what
Yeah.
like who
You
got?
have I have either Damian Lillard or Buddy Hield.
I was gonna say Buddy or Laurie.
Because Buddy's a sleeper, I think, just because he's not a superstar.
I think, but like he's one of the best 3-point shooters.
Yeah, it's like the year that Joe Harris won it.
Yeah.
Like Joe Harris is a clear cut like
Buddy
top
Hield was
favorite
a
to win
legend
it.
for my Sonics franchise. I'm just saying.
Buddy Hield, I traded Buddy Hield in my Pacers.
I know, and you can because he's a great asset for trade.
Yeah,
but
I
if you can
traded
pick
him and
up
Miles
find a
Turner.
spot, he is like he literally will lead the league at 3-point percentage for the rest of his career.
Yeah, oh, easily. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to watch that. Another thing I was excited to watch, and I was very excited to watch because I was checking my phone
constantly
every 5 minutes.
It was
the
in
whole day.
The midst of massive game design debacles as we constantly are in.
Oh yeah, the NBA trade deadline. I tossed you a link there so that you could.
I see that. Yeah.
It sent the wrong thing though, so let me go get you the right thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know why it linked to the wrong thing. Here you go. Check that out.
Well, we'll check this out.
And then we'll just scroll through it and see if there's any trades that really catch your eye.
I can tell you the James Wiseman one right now.
The James Wiseman one? That one's interesting.
I love it.
One of the things about it though is I don't know if you saw recently that Portland wasn't super honest about
I did see that.
Yeah. And it might have jeopardized the trade. I
accidentally sent that to another friend of mine when I was trying to send that to you.
It's interesting. So there might not be James Wiseman might not be going to Detroit. I hope he is though. I
really hope he is.
I would like to see him in Detroit with like the other athletic bigs.
The San Antonio New Orleans deal with Josh Richardson and Devontae Graham and 4 second-round picks. I like that, but can you tell me why so many goddamn second-round picks are being jammed?
I'm not sure why. Like people are just generating second-round picks out of nowhere, and I don't know how. Really, I don't know where they're coming from. I have no.
It seemed like everybody had either a second-round pick or like 4 second-round picks attached to a trade.
Like the Clippers. The Clippers got Eric Gordon and 3 second-round picks. I was just
looking at that.
The Reggie Jackson 2028 second-round pick was a complete like that one threw me off guard. Like 2028, you're gonna trade a second-round pick 5 years from now?
Exactly. That's literally nothing.
Like, okay, just give me Reggie Jackson at that point. I'm gonna forget that I even have that pick by the time it comes to that draft.
What about like all the John Wall, Danny Green, like all the guys who are supposed to be getting cut?
Reggie Jackson got bought out.
Okay.
I forget where he went, but he got bought out. He's going somewhere else now. No one else has really gotten bought out yet or like waived.
Mo Bamba?
Like Mo Bamba's staying where he is.
I know, but he was one that was thrown around as a potential buyout, which I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Pat
but I think
Bev, right?
that one's a good one. Pat Bev is getting bought out. People just don't know where he's going yet.
So Orlando traded Mobamba for a second round pick.
Yeah. Russ is probably getting bought out. Which, yeah, trading Mobamba for a second round pick,
That seems really weird.
like, that's
Mobamba's
LA
still
high
a productive
key.
guy with a high upside. Like,
LA high key won the trade deadline.
you could say
Like they
that.
got a haul from the trade deadline. They got Mo Bamba, they got D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy haul.
All right, here we go. Reggie Jackson is going to Denver.
Okay.
He was signed yesterday. Danny Green is going to Cleveland, where his career started. Terrence Ross is going to Phoenix.
Ooh. Dude, Terrence Ross is still something. I'm going to say that.
Oh, Goga Batadze is going to Orlando.
Your boy Matisse on the move.
Yeah, my guy, Matisse Thybulle, off to Portland. He's actually performing really well in Portland. And I'm very happy. He had a crazy night the other night. Let me see if I can go find it.
In that Jay Crowder deal, I didn't realize Indiana's in there. They got what is that saying they got Jordan Nora, George Hill, Serge Ibaka, and 3 second round picks?
Yeah,
That's a pretty crazy haul. Like
it's a good haul.
for what is also included in that trade.
Matisse Thybulle had 14 points, 3 blocks, 6 rebounds, 2 assists in his game against the Lakers.
Kind of what he does.
So I mean, that's honestly, I'm happy with that output.
I watched
Portland is struggling. They
I
need
watched-
scoring, but it is what it is.
I watched Pirtle's first game.
Oh, Pirtle has been a monster for us. Did you see he was like the first player since Shaq to put up like a 30.8 block game or 5 block game or
Oh,
whatever?
really? That's crazy.
Jakob Pirtle has been a monster. I think there was actually, you know what? I have the stat, I think. Tell me if there's any other trades while I go pull up this stat.
Did you say Westbrook got bought out?
Westbrook hasn't gotten bought out yet.
He will, though, right?
Probably.
Do you remember what the total haul Brooklyn has from their big three or whatever that you showed me?
Oh, I don't have it still, but it's so much. It's like
Because it was like what 7
it's like
players and then
7
like
players and
8
like double-digit
first-round
picks.
8 first-round picks or something,
Something like that, yeah.
and only one was like top 3 protected.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Okay. Players with 30 points and 6 blocks while shooting 85% from the field in the last 30 seasons. Shaquille O'Neal, Arvydas Sabonis, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Jakob Pirtle.
That's ridiculous.
30 points and 6 blocks, and he missed 2 shots. That's insane.
That's so sick.
I'm so happy he's back in Toronto. I love Jakob Pirtle.
Honestly, it was a move I didn't see coming, but I'm very excited to see how it plays out because I agree. I think it's a lot of fun to see him back here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was kind of hoping that we would make a little bit more of a splash than we did, but
no, but we didn't
not do anything
incredible. We didn't get fleeced.
We didn't pull a Miami and just sit there and watch. People are making jokes on how Pat Riley fell asleep during the trade deadline. His old age caught up to him. And then, I mean, we can't talk about the trade deadline without talking about arguably the biggest trade that nobody saw coming. Kevin Durant and TJ Warren to Phoenix for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 first-round picks. 5 first-round picks. One of them's a swap.
Just a ridiculous return.
If you're Brooklyn, you have Phoenix's pick in 2023, 25, 27, 29, and you have a swap in 28.
Wow.
And you have Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, which is like a terrific haul. Those are 2 guys that you could easily build around. Maybe not build around, but have pieces for building around. Yeah.
No,
and then there's
crazy, dude. That's
then they're just left with Ben Simmons too, which is a little funny, but
oh my god, that is such a ridiculous return, dude. I can't like you couldn't put that together in 2K.
No, you literally can't. There's not enough
It's too
slots to do
much.
it. Yeah,
You'd have to have a 3-team trade. Like to give
yeah,
that many just pure assets, regardless of their value, is crazy.
that's nuts.
It's like when
Yeah,
teams in
the
like the
other
60s and
picks.
70s used to trade like just whole 8-man pieces back and forth.
Yeah, I think the only other trades that people did see coming, but were worth mentioning, Kyrie Irving to the Mavericks for Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith. Obviously, picks were involved in that too. And the Russell Westbrook trade for D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and then Minnesota also got Mike Conley, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Damian Jones, and 3 second-round picks.
Just a bag of stuff.
Yeah, just a bag of marbles.
See if
Just
any of
seeing what
this
they
works
can do
for
with
you.
it. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think Minnesota really improved. I don't think Minnesota got worse, but I don't think they
They
improved.
just kind of changed.
Yeah. I think Utah, they got a pick out of it. They weren't able to move Russell Westbrook again before the trade deadline, so I don't know how I feel about that. Because they're just going to buy him out, and all they're getting out of it is a 2027 top 4 first.
Something.
So, sure. The Lakers got a lot, though. I really like the Lakers.
Yeah, they
move.
quietly had like a really fortifying deadline.
Absolutely. And I think this is the last of the NBA notes before we move on to the NHL. We're going to go over some award predictions I had at the beginning of the year. See how they're doing right now, and seeing if I want to change any of them. This is my last chance to change all of them before the
Then
end
they're
of the year.
locked in. They're carved in stone.
They're locked in after this, so
They're
I had to be very
actually etched
careful with the ones I was
on my
picking.
ass cheeks, and we're gonna keep them there.
I sauced you a few links too, just so you could see.
Yeah, no, I love this. I do this all the time, but I love this.
We're gonna start off with the MVP. I feel like it's the best one to start off with. My original choices were Luka Doncic or Joel Embiid. Although they are still terrific choices for MVP and very justifiable choices, all I see right now is Nikola Jokic going for a three-peat. And it's hard to it's hard to argue against Nikola Jokic. The Nuggets are currently the 1 seed in the West by 5 games, and he's averaging a triple-double and leading his team in all 3 major statistical categories.
Yeah, it's
like you
I'm
take
looking
Jokic
for
away.
something.
You take Jokic away,
He's
and
got
the Nuggets are literally
11.2
nothing.
win shares.
Yeah,
That's wow.
Yeah.
The Luka and Joel have basically 16 combined. Nikola
Nikola
only 4
has
off of that.
Nikola has like 11, almost 12 wins.
He kind of looks a little bit like Sava, doesn't he?
A little bit, kind of.
Should we start calling
I mean, he
Sava
is.
Big
He is.
Tipper?
I mean, he is Serbian, so
I know he is.
Big Tipper,
We should start
Cookie
calling
Monster,
him Big Tipper.
Big Honey.
What's going on, Joker? I call him that anyway.
Yeah, he's having an insane season.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Nikola Jokic has to have it at this point.
3 MVPs in a row. I think the only other person to do that is Larry Bird.
Mike didn't win 3 in a row, right?
No, he didn't. LeBron hasn't either.
No. So yeah, I think yeah.
Nikola Jokic. He's my MVP. As like if he stays healthy, which Nikola Jokic often stays healthy.
How crazy is it that 2 big, goofy white guys are just the only ones to win 3-time MVP?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's so not like it's just like anecdotally hilarious.
My rookie of the year, my original rookie of the year was Paolo Banchero. My current rookie of the year is Paolo Banchero.
I don't know how it's anybody else.
He's just really good. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Paolo Napoleon James Banchero. Napoleon James.
What a name.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's averaging 20 points per game on
November
like 6 rebounds too.
2002.
2002. Younger than us. PP does it.
Bro. Oh my god.
He's one of those like first overall picks that you're like, you look at him and you're like, yeah, that's a first overall pick.
Yeah,
And you're
it's
like,
pretty.
yeah, that's the rookie tier. Like
yeah,
that's
you can't debate it.
like it was for a while. It was between him, Jabari Smith Jr. and Chet Holmgren. Jabari Smith Jr. has looked less than stellar, and Chet's been injured.
Yeah, nothing.
So
against
Paolo
him,
just
but-
kind of ran the
if you
entire
think
rookie
if
league.
Chet was healthy, do you think it's a tighter race? But like, who
I
do you
think it's a little
has it?
tighter, but I think it's still Paolo.
I think it's still Paolo. I don't know if Chet could do enough to like
No.
outmatch this.
No.
Unless he was
still
putting
Paolo.
up a double maybe with like
Maybe, but like even there, 20 points, dude.
I know
As
that's
a
a
rookie,
lot.
20 points.
That's a lot.
Like that's enough to be like a really, really good second option
Yeah,
on like any team.
it's crazy.
So that's impressive.
Do you think it
My
affects
sixth
him
man,
losing Mo Bamba?
I think he gets more points, to be honest.
I
Because now the
I,
paint's just his.
that's what I mean. I think like it's just for him now.
It's just he's gonna finish with like 23, 24 points per game.
That's gonna be awesome.
My sixth man of the year, originally I had Jordan Poole. Now I have Russell Westbrook or Malcolm Brogdon if Russ stays in Utah. Because if Russ stays in Utah, I don't see him not being the starter. But if he leaves, I think if he goes to like Miami or the Clippers, I think he's going to be the backup. So he'll just play six man still.
How is it not still Jordan Poole?
No, I think Jordan Poole's kind of not regressed, but I think he's just stalled out.
His 3-point is kind of depressing.
Yeah, and like his game kind of revolves around shooting.
I think you're right. I think Malcolm Brogdon might have this.
Brogdon's been impressive. I really like Brogdon. Russ has been incredibly inefficient, but his career's been inefficient. So like,
it's Russ.
At that point, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I think Brogdon's been really impressive. Obviously, Brogdon's been incredibly efficient. He's one of only 9 players, I believe it was. Yeah, one of only 9 players to ever shoot 50, 40, 90.
Whoa.
And that's up with players like Steph, KD, Steve Nash did it 4 times.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Everyone else has done it like
into
once.
Perspective.
Yeah, everyone else has done it like once or twice. Steve Nash has done it 4 times. I think Larry Bird did it twice, and Steve Nash did it 4.
That's so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out Canadian.
Shout out Canadian. So yeah, I think it's Russ or Malcolm. One of those two.
Fuck it. Give me Brogdon.
All right, locking in Brogdon. I think if Russ stays in Utah, which I don't think he will, it's going to be Brogdon
Boston
for sure.
System gives itself so much to a 6th man. Like,
oh, absolutely. Like even if Malcolm Brogdon swapped with Marcus Smart, I would then say Marcus Smart is probably the 6th man.
Well, I think that's fair.
So like it doesn't like it regardless of who the starting point guard is, I think they would be the 6th man of the year, or like a candidate for it. DPOY, Bam Adebayo or Drew Holiday were my original choices. It's now Jaren Jackson Jr. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's a stat inflation controversy going around with him.
Okay.
Where the Memphis box score people have been inflating his block stats. But I think he's still my favorite because regardless of if it's inflated, he's averaging 3.3 blocks per game and like 1 point steals per game. Or 1.1 like 1 or 1.0 steals per game.
How are they inflating his stats?
Like giving him like 1 extra block per game.
And like saying it's a mistake or like giving credit
I don't know.
Probably wasn't.
It's like every so often they're like giving him an extra block or like crediting him for a block that isn't actually a block.
Huh.
But like even there, you take a block away, he's still 2.3 blocks per game. like
yeah, it's still a good argument.
Obviously his rebounds could be a little bit higher, but his defensive stats kind of offset that, but also like
I would like to see him get more rebounds.
I would like to see him get more rebounds.
Like if he was averaging
like
6-11, I would be a little bit more intrigued by that.
So I think my DPOY is Jaren Jackson Jr. just because Memphis is performing so well and Jaren Jackson is like doing so much on defense for them. Obviously, like like the eye test is important there too because you need to kind of watch the eye test and like see how he's doing on defense and what he's affecting without actually like touching the ball.
Yeah.
But he's been playing really, really well. I think Memphis as a whole has been playing really, really well, which is why they're in second. But Jaren Jackson Jr., DPOY.
Let's go.
On to the MIP. These ones are obvious. I don't think there's any argument for I like anyone but these two. It was originally Anthony Edwards at the beginning of the year. It's now Lauri Markkanen or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And like, it's really, really hard to argue that one of these two don't deserve it.
I agree. I think there's no way Laurie doesn't have it though, with just what has happened with that team.
Oh yeah,
what
I think he did it based on stats and just storyline.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Like the storyline is so impactful in these kinds of things that like it's hard for Lowry to lose it.
Exactly.
Like the man went from 14.8 points per game to 24.9.
Yeah, and I mean Shai did take a big jump across the board.
Shai jumped up to 31, but like that's a 10-point jump.
It's really impressive.
And like Utah, everyone remembers when Utah was like top of the league at one point.
Rebounds are up.
Yeah, his rebounds are up. His assists are up. Not by much, but but still a bit.
Half an extra assist a game is something.
Yeah. So I mean, shout out both of them, to be honest. Shout out Canadian and shout out Finnish.
Let's go.
My finals. This one will likely fluctuate constantly. Like maybe by the end of this ep, it might not even be the same.
Very possible.
But the original finals I had were Dallas Mavericks versus Philadelphia 76ers in the finals. Sixers win in 6. Joel Embiid finals MVP. Now it's Memphis, Boston, Celtics in 5. Jason Tatum MVP.
Even with the Kyrie move, Dallas drops out here.
I think so. And the only reason I have Memphis over Denver is because Denver has just not performed that well in the playoffs. Because I think teams get enough time to figure out Nikola Jokic for a 7-game series that they can counteract it. And then once Jokic is out of the picture, like Denver isn't good enough.
Because the rest of that roster is not a playoff team.
No. Because I think Memphis is super deep. You take out Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane are going to go off.
Yeah.
You take out Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja Morant, and Desmond Bane are going to go off.
Yeah, I don't think it affects them either way.
No, so I think Memphis makes it, but I don't think they beat Boston because Boston is just as deep, but also better.
Yeah, and I think that they also just have like the system and the pedigree and stuff. Like it's not what it is to Memphis to be in the finals.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I think Memphis makes it back at some point. I think Ja does win a chip in his career.
Like giving it to the Celtics in 5 is definitely aggressive in my opinion because it's the finals.
I mean, I was deciding between 5 or 6, but I think 5. I think they just take one away at home, or take one away like in Memphis. Yeah, I think it goes like probably like Boston, Memphis, Boston. And then Boston finished it off at home.
Yeah, I could see that.
And now I have my little random extra shit. There's some color-coded stuff. Basically what red is I just don't think it's happening. I think I was wrong on this one. Washington making the playoffs. I don't think it's happening. I think what they needed to do was they needed to bring someone back to Washington, maybe like a Russell Westbrook or something.
Yeah, there needed to be some type of action at the deadline, some type of move that actually invigorated.
But instead they moved Rui Hachimura for Kendrick Nunn. Yeah,
which is not an improvement.
And no, so I don't think they make the playoffs. Green, there's one green. That one is just I got it right. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards make their first time All-Star. Anthony Edwards is in as an injury replacement, but I still count it just because he is an All-Star.
That counts, man. It goes on his fucking reference page.
Yep. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards, first time All-Star. I was correct on that one. Chicago struggles early, but Lonzo returns later in the year, and they pick it up from there. It's still likely because Lonzo hasn't returned. So
Still
It's
giving
still
you the edge on
possible.
that.
It's still possible, and they are struggling early. So maybe.
I keep getting
Um,
confused with the real Chicago team and the one you're facing in the Pacers.
oh
so.
yeah, I ended up
I'm like,
beating
no,
them.
they're not. They're dominant as shit. No, they're not. They're not.
No, they're pretty garbage right now. I have Raptors and a 6 seed behind Philly, Boston, Miami, Milwaukee, and Cleveland. Right now, they're sitting behind all of those teams plus Brooklyn, Atlanta, and New York.
Okay, so they've got to overcome them, but the order you've got is pretty accurate thus far.
Yeah, they are indeed behind Philly, Boston, Miami, Milwaukee, and Cleveland. They're just also behind Brooklyn,
The teams
Atlanta, and the
that you
Knicks.
have them hopefully getting ahead.
I think they'll get ahead of at least Brooklyn because I think Brooklyn's just going to start taking a dive now.
Yeah, I think they do.
New York, I don't know how long New York can make it last.
Atlanta made some small moves, right? It was like bench defense.
Yeah, it
and
was
a
like
few other things
little
around
tiny
the
moves
edge.
here and there. I don't know. Atlanta's inconsistent, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, they have to be hot.
New Orleans finishes a 3rd seed behind Dallas and Golden State. I don't think New Orleans is finishing as a 3rd seed, and I don't think they're going to be behind Dallas and Golden State because Golden State's literally sitting at 500. And I think they're sitting at 500. There's a stat for it. They're sitting at 500 for like the 12th time this year. So that means they keep just winning one and then losing one, and then winning one and then losing one.
Never
Or they'll
gaining
win
any
2 and
ground.
lose 2. So they're not gaining any ground. They're definitely not going to be 1st or 2nd. Dallas is not going to make it to top 2. And New Orleans, I think, is somewhere around the middle of the pack right now in the West. So that one's just wrong. Minnesota finishes a 5th seed behind Memphis and the teams named above that like I just named. Also, no.
Not happening.
Minnesota's struggling super hard. Memphis is a top 2 team. So that doesn't work. Portland makes it into the playoffs. The reason it's orange is because it's unlikely but possible.
Okay.
So I have it as an orange right now. And then the Clippers start off strong, but Kawhi and PG struggle with injury again, leading to a mediocre season. They do make playoffs, but lose in the conference semis. That one is a possible because they did start off strong and they're still starting off strong. We don't know about Kawhi and PG really struggling with injuries yet, but it just seems to be a trend.
So it's fair at this point to say it's a possibility.
Yeah, so
Based on track record,
it might
it
lend
has
itself to a mediocre season, and they might lose in the conference semis or the first round.
We'll see.
And those are the NBA notes. That's a solid 38 minutes of NBA notes.
That's a lot of basketball, my friend.
And then we're just going to go through NHL real
quick.
quick.
You want to take a week off? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
Not encouraging crunch culture here. I'm just saying.
Wait. Yeah, it's a lot of work to catch up on.
That's okay.
Anyway,
like the long episodes.
We should talk some hockey before we move on real quick.
I got my eye on the 3 of you guys. You pull one thing, you're out of this game. Now I run a clean game here. I have any trouble, I'll suspend you. I'm listening to a fucking song!
Vladimir Tarasenko and Nico Mikkola from St. Louis to New York Rangers for Sammy Blais, Hunter Skinner, and some conditional draft picks.
New York is bumping after the deadline, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. Big trade, to be honest. I wrote it wrong. It's Tarasenko, not Taraskenko.
Taraskenko. I didn't even see that.
But yeah, I don't pay too much attention to hockey, but obviously there's a big trade because a big name is involved in it.
I think Tarasenko's in the last year of his deal, but they'll probably, I would imagine, they extend them.
Yeah.
Similar to what we have for the next one.
Bo Horvat from Vancouver to New York, but not the Rangers, the Islanders. For Anthony Beauvillier. I had to look this one up because I didn't know how to pronounce it. It's Aatu Ratu.
Okay.
And at a conditional 2023 first.
I think Horvat was also a free agent. He got like an 8-year, $60-something million deal or something like that.
Yeah. He got extended big.
Which is, like you said, kind of
And
what Tarasenko's going to be looking at.
yeah. There are a bunch of other small trades that I don't think were necessarily worth mentioning. If you are a big hockey fan, obviously go check them out, or you probably know about them already.
Yeah, I feel
But
bad that I don't know enough about them to comment on them.
rumors, Patrick Kane is willing to accept a trade to the Leafs or the Rangers. If he goes to the Rangers with Tarasenko,
That's crazy.
that's for someone who they watched the prime of the Tarasenko show and
Yeah.
Patrick Kane from the Chicago Blackhawks just dominating the league. That brings good memories.
Oh, fuck yeah. But him going to the Leafs is an intriguing idea because the Leafs
Yeah.
definitely can't afford him how they are right
Oh,
now.
absolutely not.
So, like, that's like an all or nothing move.
Yeah. And then lastly, the All-Star weekend just passed. They really spiced things up this year. They added things like the splash shot, pitch and puck, and tendy tandem, alongside the obviously mainstays of hardest shot, accuracy challenge, fastest skater, and the beloved breakaway challenge. They have a recap out on YouTube. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you go do. It was a very good. It was very fun to watch, and a lot of effort I think went into it. It was also heavily edited, which normally sounds bad, but it was good because it took out all the awkward parts.
Oh, that's positive.
So, so the heavily edited actually worked out in their favor. And those are the end of my notes. It's now off to Travis for some football and baseball.
Yeah, I guess before that NHL, I guess we could shout out guy I know from home, Always Hockey. He gets to go to all the NHL shit. He's a big trick shot guy. Check him out on YouTube, Always Hockey. And yeah, he went to go and he gets to like participate in them and stuff. Not like as a legitimate contestant, but
Yeah.
he gets to like do the stuff, walk through it, meet all the stars. He's awesome. But yeah, we got some NFL stuff. Obviously, the Super Bowl happened, and we got some interesting news coming out about some players, some contracts, and stuff. But before that, the Hall of Fame inductions came out, and we won't go through all these guys, but we have a few inductions. Modern era, we got Rondé Barber, Darrell Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, and DeMarcus Ware. Nate, do you recognize a few of these guys?
DeMarcus Ware.
Yeah.
Yep, no, that's about it.
No Darrell Revis or Joe Thomas?
I think I know Darrell Revis.
You should. He's a legend. Joe Thomas is a great Cleveland lineman tackle. He's a really awesome dude. DeMarcus Ware is a bad man though. If you want to see a good highlight tape, go look up DeMarcus Ware's like career highlights. Bad dude. Then we have seniors. I didn't know this was necessarily a category, but they played 25 plus years ago. We have Chuck Howley, Joe Klecko, and Ken Riley. I personally am a huge Joe Klecko fan. When I almost bought you a Matherin jersey, I almost bought myself a Joe Klecko jersey.
Nice.
You got to look at his pro football page. Tell me he's not a handsome son of a bitch, Nate.
Oh, what a beautiful face.
Joe Klecko, a face only a mother could love. I love him. He is incredible. I'm a big Smokey and the Bandit fan movie. And in the sequel, he plays a truck driver. And he gets out and bends a sheriff's badge with just his bare hand. And he actually did that. He was like old school farm boy strength, like superhero type of stuff. So he's a badass. He played with the Jets. He was awesome. And then we have a coach, Don Carell. He coached the Cardinals for 4 years, from 73 to 77, and the Chargers from 78 to 86. Not going to lie, didn't recognize the name. Not the biggest football fan nor historian. But congratulations to all of them. I'd love to go walk through the Football Hall of Fame. I really want to do that in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What's the basketball? Where's the Basketball Hall of Fame, Nate?
Oh God, I forget.
Because football is Canton, baseball is Cooperstown.
Basketball Hall of Fame. Springfield, Massachusetts. I should have known that.
Ah, Springfield. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that makes sense. Isn't it like the birthplace of professional basketball?
Maybe professional.
Not obviously basketball.
Yeah, obviously
but,
not actual basketball because that's Canada. Shadow
Anyway.
Canadian.
We do have a trade, which I forgot this is a thing, but the Broncos and the Saints.
It is basketball.
Yeah, okay, I thought so.
Invented it in Springfield, but he is Canadian.
Oh well, okay. So half shout out, we're good.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, the Broncos and the Saints trade head coach Sean Payton to Denver. I forgot you could trade coaches in the NFL. Didn't they do that?
I forgot you could
They
just
do that
trade
in basketball too, right?
You can do it in any sport.
Really?
It's just no
Just
one ever
really
does it
doesn't
because why
happen.
would you trade your coach?
Exactly. Denver sends its 2023 first-round pick from San Francisco, which is the 30th overall, and a 2024 second-round pick to New Orleans for Peyton and their 2024 third-round pick. Weird, cool, interesting. I don't know. Go Broncos, I guess. Tom Brady retires for good, good. And he's going to begin his Fox broadcasting role next year, 2024. 10-year, $375 million contract, in case you forgot. Just going to let that sink in for a sec.
Yeah, that's
To talk about football.
it's a lot of money.
Like the best players in baseball are hoping to get that.
Yeah, well, I
He
mean,
gets
I
to
feel like
sit
most
in air
sports,
conditioning.
maybe not like soccer, but every other sport.
I don't know, man. Baseball's the only one who hands out a contract like that, except for, maybe soccer.
Yeah, like a long term. Like no other sport really locks people. I guess no,
What
that's
other
a lie.
sport has $300
Hockey.
million contracts?
Well, no, yeah. I
You know
think
what I mean?
lengthwise, a lot of other
Lengthwise,
sports,
yeah. I guess,
but
yeah.
pay wise, it's like soccer, and
And that's
like
it.
yeah,
Maybe like the best boxer ever. Like if you're Floyd Mayweather, that's your pay per view.
maybe
I don't know. Like what
it's a
revenue
lot
is
of
it?
money, dude.
Fucking crazy.
Just to talk about football,
So yeah, we're gonna see his handsome ass for the next decade, probably a lot longer.
probably longer.
He's gonna be like handsome when he's like 65, dude. I swear. And he's gonna be like the richest
Chin,
man
dude.
in sports.
I mean, he's not gonna have a wife though, or kids.
That's okay. He's gonna have $375 million. So
True.
he's got way more than that. But my favorite part of the Super Bowl, Nathan, I watched the whole thing. It was good. It was a good Super Bowl. I thought it had the potential to be a much better Super Bowl. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was gonna be like an all timer.
I watched up until after the halftime show.
Really?
And then I left going. The Eagles got this in the bag. I forgot.
You forgot it was Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Making comebacks.
Exactly. Fucking Andy Reid. No, my favorite part was Chris Stapleton's national anthem. I didn't realize how good Chris Stapleton was. Not usually like a big fan of more modern country type of stuff. It got me thinking we should do a national anthem ranking because I watch a bunch of them on YouTube from time to time. There's some really good ones, like Jimi Hendrix. Like there's a lot of all times.
Yeah,
Thought that would be fun. But I watched it again today. It literally like had players and coaches crying. Was way better than the halftime show in my opinion, and it was followed up with an all-woman flyover as well. So it was all around pretty cool. But just like him and the guitar and just the amp on the field, it was like I'm not even American. I felt like a little wavery. I was texting my mom during it, and she was like, "Yeah, I was cooking in the kitchen crying." Like, it's like, oh, well, it's pretty good. But yeah, you should look that up. The NFL video of it on YouTube already has like 110,000 likes or something. It's a great one. And then a few interesting, I guess you'd call these all transactions of some kind. The Raiders have released Derek Carr. It's kind of anticipated. I didn't realize he played 9 seasons with the Raiders.
It feels like less.
It felt like 6 max. Like it felt way shorter than that. Yeah. But would have guaranteed is $40.4 million under his previous contract if he hit the deadline there on February 15th or whatever, just today. But the Raiders roster now, they only have 2 quarterbacks remaining, Chase Garbers and Jarrett Stidham, who apparently started the last 2 games but is also a free agent. Never heard of either one of those guys. I'm sorry.
Nope. So
You're
maybe
in the
next,
NFL and I'm not, but what do you do
maybe
in
we'll learn
Oakland?
about it.
I guess Vegas. AJ Green announces his retirement. Not the defensive AJ Green, but the wide receiver AJ Green.
The other one.
Yeah, 7-time Pro Bowler, Nate. That's a lot of Pro Bowls.
Yeah, that's
He's a first-round pick too. But yeah, congratulations, AJ Green. Awesome career. And then, like I said, I suppose it's a transaction. An arrest warrant was issued for Joe Mixon, Cincinnati Bengals running back, on 1 count of aggravated menacing. It's an intriguing charge. So I checked out the story. Apparently, Mixon is accused of pointing a gun at a woman in downtown Cincinnati and telling her, "You should be popped in the face. I should shoot you now. The police can't get me," according to a warrant. Please don't isolate that. The incident allegedly took place on Saturday, January 21st, 1 day before the team's game against the Bills. The Bengals said the club is aware of misdemeanor charges that have been raised. The club is investigating the situation, will not comment further at the time, the typical. And I didn't realize in 2014, when he was 18 years old in college, Mixon punched a female Oklahoma student in the face, and it was captured on surveillance video. He was suspended for a year and entered an Alford plea, which, if you don't know, is like not admitting guilt, but admitting that they can convict you. And he was ordered to perform community service and undergo counseling, and a few teams actually said that was the reason they passed on him in the draft. So, I mean, I guess you were clean for a while. What are you getting up to now, pointing guns at ladies? But it's an interesting quote, Nate. It's a strong line.
It's a very very bold.
I should shoot you now.
The police can't get me. That's
balls, man.
Yeah.
That's balls I don't know about. But that's football. That's football. That's fucking football all the time, isn't it? It's just,
yeah. I feel like most of our scandals come out of football.
there's some great stuff and some cool stuff and some pieces of shit occasionally. I don't know. Anyway.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Baseball. This one, I was saying again before the podcast, Nate, I didn't realize how great Ted Lerner was until I was researching him now. He passed away. He's the Nationals owner, the Washington Nationals owner. He's one of the reasons baseball was brought back to Washington, why it's still there now. He passed away due to complications from pneumonia at the age of 97. That's a run, man.
Yeah.
That's a
Absolutely.
run. He was born on October 15th, 1925 in D.C., and he was a huge baseball fan when he was young. He couldn't afford the cost of a ticket, so he became an usher. While he was a student in high school, he was the editor-in-chief of the newspaper. He was a sports reporter. He was a member of the tennis team. After he graduated in 1944, he was in the U.S. Army. He earned an associate arts degree from the George Washington University in 48 and a Bachelor of Laws from the same university law school in 50. So already, I can never match up to that. This is a man I could only dream to be, and then it only gets crazier from there. His dad died when he was 21, so he sold real estate on the weekends while in law school to support his family. And at 26, he borrowed $250 from his wife to start a real estate company to sell homes to developers. Lerner Enterprises would go on to become the largest private real estate development company in the Metro DC area, with more than 20 million square feet of commercial retail buildings and a portfolio that features hospitality, office, residential, retail, sports, and entertainment. He was the founding member of the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum and he served on the board of trustees and executive committee of the George Washington University, which includes the donation of the Annette and Theodore Lerner Family Health and Wellness Center and the Theodore N. Lerner Hall at the GW National Law Center. Philanthropically, I found this. These are all the organizations and foundations that he's involved with. So the Annette M. and Theodore N. Lerner Family Foundation supports local and international organizations, including the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, the Weizmann Institute of Science, Junior Achievement of the Greater Washington Area, Georgetown Day School, Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School, the Jewish Foundation of Greater Washington, B'nai B'rith Youth Organization, Washington Hospital Center Foundation, the Anti-Defamation League, the Jewish Community Centers for the Greater Washington and D.C. area, Imagination Stage of Bethesda, Food and Friends, Youth AIDS, and the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts.
That's insane.
What? How do you do this much and be this incredible?
How do you do that much and still own a baseball team?
How do you live to 97? Dude, like Ted Lerner, like the greatest person ever. I would argue.
He literally said, "Oh, I'm making bank. Time to help people out."
This is
like no one does that. Like, good job. Like,
and is also the reason why the Nationals came back to baseball, are like a huge facet of baseball, won the World Series. Like he's the guy. He gave the team to his son to like run like a year or two before they won the World Series. Like he's the reason they had that. Insane. Just an incredible human being. Another awesome story that I don't normally buy video games back-to-back years for sports, but the Negro Leagues are coming to MLB The Show. The Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and MLB The Show San Diego studio announced that a new game mode called Storylines The Negro Leagues is coming, and I added the tweet. It's got like a 3-minute video kind of explaining what it is. But it looks awesome. So apparently you get to pick and play as historic players from the Negro Leagues and kind of follow their career like through highlights and video clips and obviously reenacting the games and stuff, playing like a road to the show, I imagine. And you can pick from 8 players from the start. They expect that they'll be adding more throughout the season. The season 1 roster, as it's called, is includes
picking.
It includes Martin Dihigo, John Donaldson, Rube Foster, Buck O'Neill, Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson, Hilton Smith, and Hank Thompson. Who are you picking?
Number 42 himself.
Yeah, I want to go Satchel Paige, man. Satchel Paige is just one of the coolest people.
Obviously, you've seen 42.
Yeah, oh yeah. Fuck yeah, that's one of the best movies ever.
Favorite quote from that is that a home run? Yeah, if we're playing in an elevator shaft.
Yeah. That's a good old-timey baseball line. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what that's like. I love, like, Nathan, do you remember the 2K16 My Career storyline?
Oh god. If you refresh me on...
Yeah, it was like Freak. I think you were twins. And your nickname was like Frequency or whatever. They called you Freak.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was like, you remember you always like on like the New York court and like your best friend or your brother or whatever like stole your car and got killed or something like remember
best friend, and then he gets in crash and dies.
Yeah, man. That one, like I loved that storyline. Like one of my favorite stories in a game I've played. So I'm excited to see what they do with this.
The fact that a sports game could like have that much emotion.
Oh, I cried.
Crazy.
I for sure cried.
That was a sad one.
It was fucking emotional, dude.
It's just been garbage from then.
Yeah, it hasn't been good since. I liked Madden's one they did in like 17 or whatever it was. Maybe it was it was later than that. It was like 19 or maybe or whatever. And it was when you went from like Texas and you could play as like a skill position, you went through college and you got drafted and kind of like performed with your like high school best friend, best player growing up with. It was an intriguing one.
That was a good one, yeah.
Madden normally has pretty decent ones, but Yeah, I think that this kind of stuff has a good spot, and especially if it's going to feature something like the Negro Leagues and get to pass
Oh,
on a message
absolutely.
like this. So I'm really excited about that. And then a few transactions again, just to finish us up here. I know that we're running. Oh no, look at that, we're basically on time
Yeah,
now.
pretty good. Yeah.
The Jays signed reliever Chad Green to a 2-year, $8.5 million deal with a very complicated option structure that can get the deal all the way up to like 29 million or something,
Of course, because it can't be
and like
simple.
up to 4 years. So I think it's like 4 or 5 years deal up to like almost $30 million with weird options. It all
Yeah.
hinges on like who accepts or declines the options first and like what order they. I figured it out when this news broke, and I immediately forgot it as soon as I stopped reading the article. But I'm excited about that. He's a good reliever, and we need some bullpen arms big time, so he's definitely a big upgrade. They also kind of put to bed some of the rumors and the myths and the shit that I was really tired of reading over and over. Signing Bo Bichette through his ARB years, so it's not an extension, it's not a big contract. Every goddamn Instagram post comment section I saw about this, all they were saying was, "Wow, underpaid." Like, "Wow, like sell short. Wow, do you need a new agent?" I'm like, "Are you stupid?" It's a 3-year, $33.6 million deal, and there's a couple incentives in there that can get it up to like 40 something, I think. He had 3 years of arbitration left. All they did was buy him out for 3 years. He put forth his, $7.5 million ARB hearing value, and the team put out five, and there was a lot of smoke and bullshit about that. But this is good. Get this locked in. That's fine. You got some financial consistency. You know it's on your books, and you can start worrying about Vladdy. And we don't have to listen to
True.
everybody. Oh, is he going to get traded? Oh, are they going to pay him? What? I got 3 years. Be quiet. The Dodgers signed David Peralta, Freight Train. Good nickname, Nate.
That's a
Great
terrific
nickname.
nickname.
1 year, $6.5 million deals. I like it. David Peralta is like he was an all-time Diamondbacks guy. Played with the Rays a little bit last year after he got traded, and now he's going back to the same division. Going to play with the Dodgers. Going to just be another veteran, great outfielder. The Dodgers always seem to have overflowing out of their system. And I don't think they even noticed $6.5 million going out the door. I don't even think that was
Definitely not.
aware of it for them. The Astros extended Christian Javier, who is a great pitcher, and I think this is an awesome contract for both of them, really. But the team for sure. Not that I'm a fan of the Astros, but their front office is one of the best in baseball, and this is how you do it. This is how Atlanta does it. You get good guys, you get them brought up right, you get them up at the right time, get them in the system the right way, and then give them a good contract early on that allows you some financial flexibility and allows them some dependency on the team and their ability to just kind of get going with their career. And it allows you to just load your roster with talent, which is what the Astros have done and what I think they kind of need to do. I like their roster makeup, but I still feel like they win with less than they should need, and I would like them to take kind of like the bigger lineup we're used to out of Houston with like the Correa and the Bregman and the L2, like the 2017. I know, but it was a star-studded lineup. It was a fun roster. I'd like to see them build that again. Big decision here. I was confused by this one, considering pitchers and catchers just reported and spring training games start in 2 weeks. But Yankees pitcher Frankie Montas, who they got at the deadline last year from Oakland and who was not good for them, is set to undergo shoulder surgery next week and could miss the whole season. Now, if you potentially needed shoulder surgery, do you think you'd be more likely to get it right as the season's starting or right as the season ended?
Where does it end? It gives you the whole
Because
off season prepared.
he wasn't great last season. He got traded. I'm sure that he knew something wasn't great in his shoulder. I'm sure the Yankees found something in the medical. Even if he can finish the season, why wouldn't you go, okay, immediately, like getting on a plane tomorrow, going and getting surgery so I can be ready for next year?
Exactly. Instead of
like-
sitting the entire offseason like, oh, my shoulder's messed up.
Scottie Pippen did that as a protest. Took time away from the team to like get rehab, so he had the off season for his free agency, and it wasn't going to get in the way. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't love that move, but the Yankees could have really used him in their rotation this year, being 100%. And then one final move, just kind of note because it's a prospect. The Marlins acquire reliever AJ Puck from Oakland for outfield prospect JJ Bleday. Puck is 28 and he's a good reliever. He broke out last year, and there was talks of him moving at the trade deadline to a contender, which the Marlins aren't. And I'm confused as to why they're worried about trading for their bullpen right now. But they sent, like I said, outfielder prospect JJ Bleday, who's 25. He was a 4th overall pick by the Marlins in 2019. He had a good year at AAA. He hit 228, 365, 470 with 20 home runs at the top level of the minors. But he got called up and he hit 167, 277, 309 with 5 homers and 238 plate appearances in the majors. And they had him playing center, which he wasn't good in. He's a corner outfielder, so he's going to get a lot of time in Oakland, and he could just outright be a starter there. So we'll see how they use him and kind of how he turns out. But he has a chance to really turn himself around here and become something, and that would be nice. And Marlins, I whatever, I guess. I don't know, but that's baseball, man. That's what we got.
There we go.
I guess we didn't talk about what's his name? Enzo shit. The 120 million euro contract, Enzo Fernandez. From soccer, right? Did you look up? Did you see that?
I haven't looked up much of the soccer stuff.
No, I just saw that it was like, his
I
contract.
also saw that Ozil's retiring.
Who?
Ozil? German soccer legend.
Sorry, bud, I'm with him.
He's
Holy
part of like
shit.
that. You know when Germany went on like those World Cup runs where they were like
No, I
super
don't.
dominant.
That's how little of the attention I pay. I don't.
Well, he was on those teams. He was a
Gotcha.
good player.
Well, Enzo Fernandez, born January 17th, 2001, Nathan.
Oh my god. What are we doing?
120 million euro, 105.9 million pound release clause, which I believe is like, I don't really get the contract situation, but I believe is like the price basically of his contract. It's like the highest one ever in the history of the league. Something like that.
That's
I don't know. It came out a while ago and it was insane. And I don't know soccer. I was hoping you would have had
no, he did not.
something, but okay. Well, we called it. We know. Well, we can call fuck all. We noted it. Jesus, I'm not trying to give myself credit on anything like that. But yeah, that's it, Nate.
Great.
Look at that. We're running 107. That's fine.
Look at that. Look at us.
That means people will listen to like 7
Like 10
minutes.
minutes, not even 7, maybe 3.
That's
Who knows?
okay. After 7 minutes, we should just start making animal noises for the rest of it. It doesn't really matter.
They're talking about random stuff.
Yeah, it looks nice out today. Hey, the weather looks
Like 17 degrees out.
Is it? I don't think it is today.
It's February.
Dude, it seems windy as
My
fuck.
phone,
today.
my phone's saying 15 feels like 12.
That's bullshit. I walked home from school this morning. I could barely stand up straight on the sidewalk. It is not warm.
mean, it
It is
might-
windy
it
as
might be-
shit.
Might be windy and still
Not warm.
it's not warm. I'll go
Not
walk.
warm.
I'll take a step. Oh yeah, winds like 57 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
Gusts of 78.
You can't go outside. You'll be swept away.
I'm gonna walk outside. I'm gonna
No,
do it
you're
right
too
after this
small.
podcast.
You will
gonna do it.
literally die.
I'll walk in my backyard. It's
You will
contained.
slam into my fucking building.
My backyard's contained. It's okay.
I hope it has a roof.
I have a gazebo.
Okay, well, tie yourself to it. Oh, all right. Nathan's going to go jump out into a tornado. I'm going to go edit this. I hope you go have a good day.